Okay, hi everyone. So this is Hangout #1 for the semester. I'm John. We have Lindsay, and Kayla, and we're going to talk about a few educational tools that we did some research on: Rubistar, ThinkPort, Newsly, Kahoot, and Electronics. So I'm going to start with Rubistar, and what Rubistar is it's an app to help you make rubrics. Now, if you remember in the UDL module that we learned about, rubrics are essential in giving your children a kind of a framework of what you want, and then they can find the best way to get there on the assignment. So what's cool about this is not only can you have it prepared in advance with your lesson plan, but if you decide to do something impromptu, you can actually do a really quick rubric, and the kids can have it in their hands in about a minute. So I'm going to go to the site in a second here. Okay, so it's a free site, so you're going to have to actually log in and create an account, but it doesn't take very long. So you get to this screen when you go in for a rubric. Now you can do a couple different things. You can use one of their templates for a rubric, and we're going to go ahead and just make a quick one. So depending on what kind of assignment that you're giving your class, you can go in and let's say a lab report in science. So you click on that. And then it pulls up this. So you come in here and you have this framework for your rubric. It says components of the report. This is where you're going to decide what exactly the quality or the point of your scoring is, and then what levels that you're going to have of it. So let's say procedures. And then it's not working. Okay. Okay, so what it should do normally is when you click on this, it fills every one of these boxes with a different level. Let's see. So if you look at the directions here, it'll tell you you can edit the rating scale by entering your values into each column. So it's going to give you ratings, but then you can go through and edit it. And then what I was trying to do, use the pull down menu in the first row to select what you want to appear first in your rubric. Then choose the pull down in the second category. So I'm not really sure why it's not working right now. Let me refresh the page. See if that'll.
It's cool how it'll set it up for you, so you don't have to spend like an hour trying to come up with ideas or how to grade something. So that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially being a teacher, you already have so much work to do. So.
Yeah, and it should go really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just go back out really quickly and see if I can't reload it here. Sorry for the technical difficulties here.
Happens to the best of
us. All right. Hold on one second. So you can also go in and do one completely from scratch. If it's something, say you're doing something well in advance, you have a lesson plan and you have a major project and you don't like any of the options that they give you, you still have a framework to type it in and a format. So you don't have to go through and make a table, which is pretty cool too. So, okay, I think here we go. Let's try this again. All right, so the problem was we didn't see this page, but here, so you have your different subjects in here: oral projects, multimedia, math. So we'll try science again. Maybe we'll be lucky this time. And then lab report. Okay, and it tells you the cool thing also about this is you don't have to store any of this data. It will store it for you, so that you're not carrying things around. So if you're in school, you can pull up your computer in school and print out copies of the rubric right from here. So let's see, procedures. And it's not doing it again. Okay, well, anyway, I've seen it work. What it does is it fills all of these, it populates all of these fields with whatever you pick, and then it has a different level of every one of them, just like the rubrics you see and that you use on a daily basis. It does the same thing. And then you can pick, I mean, it goes on forever. You don't have to pick this many, obviously, but you can basically whip up a rubric in a few minutes for any kind of project. So, like, relating it back to the classroom, if you're trying to make it so that none of the students have problems getting what you want out of the assignment, seeing if they've learned what you've talked about, you can set up a rubric and then let them get there the best way that they know how, whether it be through building a project or maybe creating a video or doing a paper or whatever works for them the best. So I think it's a really helpful tool for anybody that is trying to give every student the best chance they can to learn.
Yeah.
All right. So that's Rubistar. You guys have any questions?
It's cool how you can have the direction and then you can also have creative flow. Like you can do whatever you want with this. So that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can put the score increments for however you want the assignment worth.
Yes. Yeah. You can do that. Well, you can adjust like what point level, or even a competency level, like it comes across, and you can do it very quickly.
Okay, cool.
Did you say it was free?
Yes, it's free. It's free to sign up.
That's cool. Yeah. So it's cool. Anyone can use it.
Yep. All right, Lindsay, you ready? All right, cool.
Yep. I did ThinkPort. This is basically a resource for many subjects and grade levels. It goes from links to websites for like games, videos, stories, history, math, money, science. Once you're on the sites from the specific category or subject or grade level, there's still more focused options on that certain topic. So it's a great resource for lesson plan ideas, like if you're all out of ideas for how to teach about money. It's really great. I mean, you can almost, there's so many clicks that you can go to that you almost can go off site so much that you're like, oh, how do I go back to the main ThinkPort page? But I thought what was really neat was the amount of resources on here are endless, number one. And then I came across the War of 1812 for like middle school social studies, and it has had a lot of good info. It had maps, slideshows, videos, audio, documents, and even like ideas for field trips. It was very, very interesting. And then in the elementary STEM category, there's a weather link, and there you can find lesson activities, essential questions the teacher can ask to like promote the lecture, and example photos of severe weather so the students can evaluate if it was severe or not severe. It's very, very interactive. I think what else. You can also, there's one part of it, of ThinkPort, where there's online courses, and which is basically for the teacher. And I didn't really understand them, if I had any insight on this website or anything critical to say. It was, like graduate credit. There's an MSDE CPD credit, which, I don't know, they just didn't make a lot of sense. I mean, they're there for teachers, I guess, if they need more education on certain things, I guess, but it kind of confused me. But otherwise, the learning resources are awesome. There's early childhood, elementary, middle school, high school, and out of school time, which is, games that they can learn on their own. Like I said, they're games and they're learning. So yeah, that's pretty much it for ThinkPort.
So is it collaborative? Like, so if you go in under a profile, can you link up to other peers and professionals and exchange ideas as well, or is it just mainly a resource that you pull for yourself?
It's mainly a resource that you pull for yourself.
Okay.
So, Yes.
Cool.
Yep. The other one I did, the News ELA, is kind of more so collaborative, and I'll talk about that on that one. But the ThinkPort is definitely more for yourself, and they have like graphic organizers for certain topics. It's very interesting.
Cool.
Do you like compare to certain topics?
Yeah, so like when you go under learning resources, you can go to like early childhood, for instance, and then you're going to go to early childhood literacy, childhood math, STEM, social studies, and social and emotional skills. So you can really narrow it down if need be.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's cool that it can be so versatile. Like you can, like you said, they come up with ideas for field trips, and I know kids love going on field trips. So
yes, they do. Well, like I thought it was nice. The War of 1812 website that I ended up going to was very nice for if students don't like social studies, for instance, or they don't want to learn about history. It was really nice to actually see the map to kind of pull ideas together for them so they can learn, what I'm trying to teach them. So it was nice.
You get them more engaged with different angles.
Yeah, very much. Yes.
And that's what you want. You want, even if it's not their best subject, you want them to be interested in learning.
Exactly.
So that's good.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, Lindsay, you ready?
Yeah.
Take it
All
away.
right. I did Kahoot. It's a one second. It's a free game-based learning platform, and it advertised that millions of people around the world use it every day. And it's cool because you can use it for school and business, so it's versatile in that kind of area. And there are a ton of games. They have like millions of like free public templates and already made games that you can use, so that if you want just something quick for your class, then you can just go right on ahead. You don't even have to think about it or make it ahead of time. And you can also make one yourself, and that's what I did. So I will show you that real quick. I just made a quick game. And you can use it on like a laptop. Like kids would have to be able to get to it through a phone. Like here, I'll show you through the preview that you use like a cellular device or a laptop. You can use a smart board, but like the phone represents like what the kids would be doing. You use an access code to get into it, and it's cool because you can do it on like a 1v1 kind of thing or a team mode, so kids can work together to come up with the idea. And all right, where is the pin? So we'll do classic. And you can see like there's the laptops and there's the phones and people are getting ready. So we'll type in the pin real quick, enter, and you can come up with your own little nickname. So I'll just do Lindsay. And you can see the little shapes video that I put in as like the beginning thing for your game. So that's cool. And you're not allowed to use any bad nicknames, so it says that right there, which is cool, so no students will do anything inappropriate. All right, here we go. So you answer it through your phone, but you can see it on like the smart board or a laptop or something like that. All right.
Cool.
And it's a circle. And boom. And it shows, I think it shows like the top 5 or the top 10. And so it's very interactive. Students want to be the number 1, so they will be very engaged. Like on this, you can, well, it shows videos of kids having like the best time of their life learning, and you can get feedback so that the teacher knows like how well the students are doing on a certain topic, which is really cool. So I will. How do you stop screen sharing? Am I back?
You're back.
Okay, there we go. So yeah, It's really cool. It's a lot of games and very interactive. The students are engaged, and the cool thing is they can make games themselves, so they can like quiz their own peers if they wanted to.
So to use this in the classroom, do they all have to have their own iPad and you create this from yours and then they play on their iPad? Is that how that works?
Yeah, that would definitely be probably a downside for some schools if they're not like funded or they don't have the resources. But you do have to use like a laptop or a phone or an iPad or something like that.
Well, I mean, most classrooms have, well, I'm only speaking from my experience, but most of the classrooms I've seen have at least PCs.
Yeah, they at least have laptops,
Yeah.
which can definitely be used, and kids can definitely still have a fun time.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that's cool because you could maybe put them in partners and have one of them create, one day or a game, game, and then the next day have, or the next week or whatever, have the other partner create it. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's very interactive, and it shows like kids all over the place just having fun. And instead of like a pen and paper kind of quiz, they are interacting with one another and
keeping interest.
Yes, they're interested. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. There's Kahoot.
Cool. All right, Kayla. Uh-oh.
Kayla?
It looks like it froze.
Oh, we lost her. Okay, well, Lindsay.
Okay. So News ELA is the second technology that I found. And this one was very interesting, actually. It's a resource for articles for many topics. It has arts and culture, science and math, religion and philosophy, government and economics, geography, world history, U.S. history, primary sources, biographies, famous speeches, time machine, which is, kind of going back in time, issue spotlight, and Spanish. That's a lot of key subjects for students to research. And under each of those categories, you can choose a grade level, a reading standard, or a language. It's awesome. It's nice because if this was ever used in the classroom, they can go home and talk about world or current events when they're home with their parents. Kayla's back now, so when I'm done, maybe she can finish. Let's see. And then this tool is great for the classroom because it allows the teacher to have an account in which the teacher can create a class with the students in her actual class, but put them in whatever she titles her class on the actual site. And they can create an account too. And in order to be in a class, they do have to have an account, which you can do in the classroom before they leave for the day. And then within the class of the website, you can assign articles for them to read or research. And if students want to choose their own article, then they can do that. And this is very critical because this is good for them to be able to select something that they would be interested in reading about. And then they also have, it's called text sets, like text, T-E-X-T, and sets. And it is basically a bunch of articles with the same kind of topic. And you can have them choose from those articles if you want to assign an assignment from those articles, which is nice. And that keeps them on track rather than with them going to find an article that they probably shouldn't be reading about, depending on the grade level. And then some critical or insights I had about it was it would kind of limit some of their choices of topic depending on the grade level. Like the text sets, it can be a good thing, but in a way a bad thing, because what if that doesn't interest them? And if doing this in the classroom, the students can get off track by exploring other articles that catch their eye, and which may not be on their level to catch their eye. So it's kind of, I feel like it has more good than bad. I think it's wonderful for them to learn, world news or to read biographies. It's really nice. I like it a lot. I actually would probably use this.
I think it's cool that you control the pool of resources that they use. So, it's cool that not only are you not making sure that things are grade level and within their frame of reference, you're also making sure that they're not getting bogus articles or,
Yeah.
absurd, because there's plenty of that out there. So I like that.
Right. Me too. Yep.
And it's cool at how many subjects that they have.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
that's like you mentioned, like religion and philosophy. Like I know other sites that don't have that, so that's definitely really cool.
Yep, it is so cool. And primary sources, like you don't see that often. It's a very cool website. I encourage this one.
Yeah, and it can probably encourage reading too. Like kids nowadays are all about watching TV or watching a video, so reading is definitely a good subject to get into.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be like really good if it would be like a current event every week, and if you wanted to do like they definitely have something that was of their grade level.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Very cool tool.
And anybody else? Any questions?
Good.
Okay, Kayla.
All right, take it away, Kayla.
All right, so I did the electronics, which is like it's a pen, and it makes circuits. So you have to have like a battery and like a light bulb or something that needs energy, and the lines will be like instead of wires. So it's like safer for like younger kids than having like wires that they could trip on and everything, and it allows them to like make mistakes like in a safe way. So like we get like the understanding of how circuits work without using like the traditional like they can be really hands on with it. Like I've never really seen anything like it.
So it's teaching them electricity?
Yeah, and like conductivity.
Oh, okay. So
What would be the like grade level for that kind of stuff? Because I don't think I ever learned anything like with.
No, nothing hands on like that.
Yeah, nothing like that. So that is cool that that's an option, but like what grade level might that be at?
Anyone who's learning about conductivity or energy or anything in any like science class, because like it's so easy to use. It's just a pen, but the pen writes in like a silver ink that uses energy.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah,
like
that'd be cool for them to see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to conceptualize. And they would they like they draw with it, or they I'm thinking of like blocks to put together to make a connection.
So like normally you would have like a battery or like 2 batteries and a light bulb or something, and normally you'd have to have like a wire from each battery.
Oh, I see. Okay, I got you. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Draw a line.
So the actual what it writes out is actually conductive.
Yeah.
Wow, that's neat.
Yeah.
I think kids would definitely think that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only problem would be like funding, because the basic package was $45.
Right. Multiply that times 20, 25
Yeah.
You can add.
Yeah.
for one little lesson about electricity.
Yeah.
Right.
Good luck with that.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, does anybody have anything else they want to add?
No.
All right,
These
cool.
all sound like really cool tools, which is.
They do, definitely. No, that's fine. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about Rubistar, ThinkPort, Newsly, Kahoot, and electronics. So we'll see you next Hangout. Bye, guys.
Bye.